There is knowledge so powerful, so liberating, so dangerous to those in control that they erased it from history. They burned the libraries, they killed the keepers, they made the teachings forbidden. Not because it was evil, but because it was freeing. Because if you knew these truths, their power over you would end. For example, the Library of Alexandria, burnt. Timbuktu's manuscripts, destroyed. Indigenous wisdom keepers, murdered. The Gnostic text, hidden for 2,000 years. What was in these teachings that they couldn't let survive? Today I'm sharing with you what they tried to erase, the forbidden knowledge that liberates, the hidden truths that free, the forgotten wisdom that makes you ungovernable to their oppressed system. This is not conspiracy. This is history. This is truth. This is what they do not want you to remember. Throughout history, people gained knowledge that empowered them, that knowledge that was erased. And why? Why did they erase these knowledge? Because an ignorant population is controllable, but a knowing population, dangerous to their oppressed system. So think about it. If you knew certain truths, you would not need their religion because you would know you have direct connection to divine. You wouldn't need their medicine because you would know that your body heals itself, and you would know how to assist your body in healing itself. You would not need their governments because you would have communities that are self-organized. You wouldn't need their validation. You would use your inner knowing to guide you. That's why they burned, banned, buried these teachings. Not to protect you from knowledge, but to protect their power from your knowing. But truth doesn't die. It goes underground. It gets coded in symbols. It gets preserved in oral traditions. It gets encoded in myths, waiting for those who are ready to remember. So I want to share with you the forbidden knowledge that returns. And I'm not teaching you something new, but this teaching is for you to remember what you've always known. So forbidden truth number 1, you do not need an intermediary. You have the direct connection. And they tried to sever that. You don't need priests. You don't need their institutions to access the divine. You already have direct connection to divine. The Gnostic text, hidden for 2,000 years or so, discovered in 1945, taught this, that the Gospel of St. Thomas said the kingdom of God is inside you and all around you, not in mansions of wood and stone. You have direct access, no middleman, not required. The church declared this heresy. Why? Because if you can access God directly, you don't need them. You don't need their power. Well, you would have your own power. Their power would be gone. Indigenous traditions worldwide taught the same. Every person can connect to spirit through meditation, through nature, through ceremony, directly. And colonizers banned these practices and made them illegal. Not because these practices were savage as they described us and or practices and traditions, but because they worked. Because people with direct spiritual connection don't need religion. The Hermetic principle they tried to hide says, as above, so below, as within, so without, which means God is not separate up there. God is within you. You contain the divine. They built entire religions on the lie of separation, made you believe you're unworthy to approach the divine directly, that you need them, their priests, their rituals, their permission. No. You are born with direct access. Your meditation is as sacred as any prayer. Your intuition is as valid as any scripture. Your direct knowing is as holy as any church. You don't need intermediaries. You never did. Your connection to source is birthright, not privilege granted by institutions. So reclaim it. The divine is in you. Access it directly. Forbidden truth number 2 is your body is a self-healing organism. So your body is designed to heal itself. You don't need their pharmaceutical industry for most ailments. Ancient healing systems such as Ayurveda, which is over 5,000 years. There's traditional Chinese medicine. You have African indigenous medicine, all based on one principle. The body heals when given what it needs. These systems treated and cured diseases modern medicine only manages. Why were they suppressed? They were suppressed because healthy people don't need pills. Healthy people healthy people won't create a lifetime customer for them. They need these pills because they will be able to generate profit. Rockefeller Foundation in early 1900s systematically destroyed natural medicine schools, made plant-based healing illegal, established pharmaceutical model as real medicine. Not because it was better, but because it was more profitable. The forbidden knowledge they hid is fasting regenerates cells and reverses diseases. Herbs heal what pharmaceuticals only mask. Food is medicine, as Hippocrates knew. They made you forget. Frequency and vibration affects matter. Sound heals. They mock it. Sunlight activates healing. They tell you it's dangerous. And grounding, having your bare feet on earth, reduces inflammation. What they do, they keep you indoors. Your pineal gland calcified by fluoride that they put in water. Your gut destroyed by food they engineered. Your immune system weakened by stress they create. Then they sell you pills for the problems they caused. But here's what they cannot erase. Your body knows how to heal. This healing is coded in your DNA. 3.5 billion years of evolutionary intelligence. Stop outsourcing your healing. Your body is the most sophisticated healing technology in existence. Trust it, support it, let it do what it's designed to do. Clean water, clean food, sunlight, movement, rest, connection, that's the medicine. Everything else is industry. Forbidden truth number 3. Death, it's not the end. The truth about consciousness they hide is that consciousness survives death. You are eternal. Their near-death experiences, millions have reported all across cultures describing the same phenomena. Leaving the body, tunnel of light. meeting deceased loved ones, having life reviews, and the choice to return. The science dismisses as brain hallucinations, but how do people report accurate details of surgeries performed while they were clinically dead? They report seeing things from ceiling perspective, describing conversations in other rooms. Because consciousness is not produced by the brain. Consciousness uses the brain. Like a radio receives signals, it doesn't create the broadcast. Ancient mystery schools taught this. Ancient Book of the Dead, not about death, but transformation. Tibetan Book of the Dead, guide for consciousness transitioning. They all knew that the soul is eternal. Reincarnation is a global belief until the Council of Constantinople removed it from Christian doctrine. Why? Because people who believe in one life are easier to control through fear of hell. People who know they're eternal can't be threatened with ending. Quantum physics now confirms what mystics always knew, that consciousness is fundamental, not emergent, not a byproduct. It's fundamental to reality. You're not a body with consciousness. Your consciousness temporarily in a body. They made you fear death because fear of ending creates compliance. So you think, better not rock the boat. This is your only chance. But you are eternal. This life, it's one scene in an infinite movie. Yes, it is still precious, it is still sacred, but it's not your only existence. So stop living small because you think you only have one shot. You are eternal. Death is an illusion. You are consciousness, and consciousness never dies. Forbidden truth number 4. You have untapped psychic abilities. And this is another power they made you forget. You have psychic abilities, telepathy, intuition, remote viewing. They're not supernatural, they're natural. CIA documents declassified in 2017 prove remote viewing is real. Project Stargate ran for 20 plus years because it worked. People accurately describing locations they'd never been, events happening thousands of miles away. The public was told psychic abilities were pseudo-science, while governments used them for military intelligence. Why hide this? Because people who trust their psychic senses can't be lied to. Your intuition is going to tell you the truth. Your gut feeling warns you of danger. Your inner knowing sees through deception. Indigenous cultures never lost this. They communicate with plants, with animals, with ancestors, with the land. Not metaphorically, literally. And children are naturally psychic until adults tell them it's just their imagination. You knew things, you felt things, you saw things. Then they trained it out of you. Your pineal gland, the third eye, is your psychic antenna. Ancient cultures protected and activated it. Modern society calcifies it with fluoride. Calcifies it through processed food, artificial light. And this is not a coincidence. This is design. But what they can't kill is the ability is still there. It's dormant, waiting, but it's accessible through meditation. It's accessible through decalcifying the pineal gland, through clean diet, clean water. You have to trust your intuition, and practice strengthens it. Spend time in nature. That heightens your sensitivity. You have abilities they convinced you were impossible. Telepathy, precognition, energetic healing, manifestation through intention. Not because you're special, which you are, but mainly because you're human. These are human abilities. They just made you forget. So remember and practice. Reclaim them. Forbidden Truth 5. We live in a conscious universe. The universe is not dead. It's not dead matter. It's conscious. Everything is alive. Everything is connected. Quantum physics proved that. And it proved that the observer affects the observed. Consciousness collapses the wave function, meaning consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it creates it. The double slit experiment, 100 years old, still baffling scientists who won't accept its implications, shows that consciousness is fundamental to reality. Ancient wisdom always knew this. Everything has spirit. Consciousness is in all things. The earth is alive. Rocks have consciousness. Rivers have spirit. It's not primitive belief. It's truth that they made you unlearn so you'd exploit nature without guilt. If you knew the earth was conscious, you wouldn't poison it, or hopefully you would choose not to poison it. If you knew plants had feelings, you wouldn't destroy them carelessly. If you knew animals were conscious beings, you wouldn't factory farm them. So they taught you nature is dead, and so there are resources to exploit. They're matter without consciousness. Take what you want, however you want, whenever you want. But quantum entanglement proves that everything is connected. Change something here and something changes there instantly, faster than light, because it's not separate. It's one consciousness expressing as many. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. Your consciousness is the same consciousness in stars, in trees, in oceans, and other people. We don't live in the universe. We are the universe being, as in human being. One consciousness, infinite expressions. When you know this, really know it, you can't be divided, you can't be made to harm others, because you'll see that you're connected and they're you are them. You can't be controlled through fear, because you're eternal and you know it. That's what they hid, because this truth ends their power. Forbidden Truth 6. Your DNA can be activated. You have what is known as dormant DNA. They call it junk DNA. They say it's 97% of your genetic code, they claim, and it has no function. But recent research reveals it's not junk. It's just dormant, waiting for activation. Ancient texts spoke of humans with 12 strands of DNA. We consciously use 2. Not a metaphor. Potential waiting in your genetic code. So what activates it? There is high frequency vibration, conscious intention, sacred geometry, sound frequencies, spiritual practices, pure whole foods, connection to source, definitely. And what suppresses it? Low frequency fear, processed foods, toxins such as the fluoride and the heavy metals, electromagnetic pollution, disconnection from nature, spiritual dormancy. They keep your DNA dormant on purpose, because activated DNA means expanded consciousness. It means psychic abilities awakened. It means self-healing amplified. It means direct divine connection and limitless potential. You are not operating at full capacity. You're running on 2 to 3% of your potential. The rest, just locked up. But the keys are in your hands. Raise your frequency, clean your vessel, activate through intention, and unlock what's dormant. You were designed for so much more than you're experiencing. Your DNA contains God's source. You need to unlock it. So these are 6 forbidden truths they try to erase. 1 is direct divine connection. 2, self-healing body. 3, eternal consciousness. 4, psychic abilities. 5, conscious universe. And 6, your dormant DNA. And why were these forbidden? Because if you knew them, their control ends. You'd be self-sufficient, spiritually sovereign, mentally free, physically powerful, energetically expansive, and unlimited. But now you know. The forbidden knowledge returns. Not just because I shared it, but because you remembered it. You are more than they told you. You are more powerful, you are more capable, more divine, and more eternal. The knowledge they tried to destroy, it survived. In you, in your DNA, in your soul. Remember the forbidden truths, practice them, live them, become what they feared. What they fear? A human operating at full capacity. That is freedom. That is power. That's you, fully awakened. So if this truth resonated, subscribe. The knowledge needs to spread. They tried to hide it. We're bringing it back. Share this. Send to someone ready for forbidden truths who can handle what others can't. And thirdly, practice one truth this week. Meditate for direct connection. Trust your intuition. Research natural healing. But just start. Just start. Jamaica, rising beyond. The forbidden truth is no longer forbidden. The forgotten is remembered. You know. Now be the knowing. See you in the next one. Stay awakened, stay powerful, and stay liberated.